first official video of the Outsider Insider, the video channel where I teach you guys the things you need to know, you wish you knew sooner, and that I wish I knew sooner. So I'm hoping by making these videos I can head off some problems and save you guys a lot of the troubles I've had to go through. So, topic of our first video today is credit scores. What is it, why do you want it, and how can you do to build it? As many of you are going to find out, just like in the early adult life, you're going to say, hey, I want a credit card. Hey, I want a car. Hey, I want to see about getting a home loan. So you're going to go, what do I do? Well, you go to a bank to get a loan, or you go to a finance company, wherever you want to go to get a loan. All right, so walk in to do that. They're going to ask you for your personal information, how much money you make, what you got in savings, name, address, all that fun stuff, social security number. They're going to pull what's called a credit check, which you're going to go to a credit reporting bureau, which is two major ones, and they're going to pull your credit score. Now, your credit score is just kind of a number that represents how trustworthy you are and your willingness to pay off debt. That's calculated to a number. Don't ask me how. I don't think anybody really knows how they do that. But you start off in life, your credit score is 0, which I think that's great. It means you hadn't had any claims against you. You don't owe any money. That must be a good thing, right? Wrong. A credit score of 0 is actually worse than a credit score. Okay, if you got like a credit score of 87, which is terrible, that's still better than 0. So, what can you do to fix this? Well, first thing you can do, number one, if you got a smartphone, go download Credit Karma. Okay, they're not a sponsor of this. This is just what I did, and this is an absolute must. Download Credit Karma, sign into it, create an account. That way you can actually view and keep track of your score, which is also nice because you can see how you're progressing as you build. So download that, and they're also going to have a drop down where they're going to have credit building options. Can look at you, is going to go, oh, you have no credit. Here's what you can do to help. Drop down, and you're going to be looking for what's called a secured credit card. That's the first thing you want to download Credit Karma's first thing. That'd be the second thing you want to do. You'll get a secured credit card. Now, me personally, I got my first one through Capital One, and they've been a great card company. And the card you're going to get first is what's called a secured credit card. Okay, what that means, you're actually going to have to pay them money in order to get the card. Now, it's not as bad as it sounds. What you're doing is you're giving them a guarantee. You're giving them something to keep if you don't pay off the debt. Now, a secured card is going to have a very low limit, which is fine. It's just get your foot in the door and start getting your score bumped up. And it's going to vary person to person. If you already made some mistakes, you got a bunch of debt, you have to pay a little more in to get the card. Me personally, I ended up paying in like $38, $48, something like that. It wasn't much. It was under $50. But I got a secured platinum card from Capital One with a $250 limit. Okay? So you got your card. Now here's what you can do. This is not free money. This is not run out and spend $250. Don't do that. That's bad. That's how people get in credit card debt. What you want to take and do is use this card to buy things you're going to buy anyways, and already have the money for to buy. Okay, don't look at this as an extra $250 a month. That's not what this is. Easiest thing to do, and what I did, is buy your fuel. That's what I was told to do by a couple bank friends I talked to, and it's what you also find a lot of advice reading online. It's my advice to you: is buy your gas for your vehicle. If you have an electric, I don't know, I think you guys got to pay for it anyway, but buy your Starbucks or something like that. Just find some expense. You want to spend couple $100 a month. Rule of thumb, you don't want to try to go over more than like half the limit. Some people say 30% of the limit. You don't want to max the card out, is what you're basically going for. But just find something in your world you're going to do anyways. It's going to be a couple $100 a month. Fuel is an easy way to do it. And do that every month. And at the end of the month, have the money set aside to pay off the card. Pay it down to a 0 balance. Now, depending on what you have, you may or may not pay any interest on it, depending on what your agreement is on your card. Mine doesn't if you pay it off at the end of the month, which was great. And what that does, that will start reporting those credit agencies, and your credit score starts going up, which is great. After about a year, you're going to have a pretty good score. You'll be up in the mid-600s, which you're doing good. You're doing good. But you come to problem number 2. Problem number 2 is now you have a credit score, but you don't really have any credit history. Banks are going to look at that, and well, good, you're paying off your credit card, but you haven't really financed anything. You haven't really had to manage money any. So they want to see what's called credit history. Now, credit history is, well, you bought this, you paid it off, you had this loan, you paid that off, yada, yada, yada. So the easiest thing to do to get that is to find something small that you can purchase and finance it, okay? That can be a car, it can be a toy, it can be a four-wheeler, it could be a motorcycle, which in my case, I ended up going on a motorcycle, okay? There's a big reason for this. At the time, I had a girlfriend, and she had a nice bike, and I was learning to ride it. Problem was we couldn't both ride the same bike. We put one on back, but it's not as much fun as both of us riding bikes. So I said we'd gone to try to get a house loan because some stuff in my world had gone sideways, and we went to the bank, and I found out that I didn't have any credit history. And I asked them what could do to fix it. They said, well, go find something small to finance and pay that off for a while, and you come back and we might be able to do something. So we were thinking about maybe getting a bike to kind of fill that hole. So we got looking around and I ended up finding an older Harley. I bought it from the dealership. It was an older bike. It was early 2020. It was a 2005 bike, so it's got some years on it. Purchase price was $3,800. I'd saved up $500 to do this, and it doesn't take that much to save that up. I mean, if you save $20 a week for a little under 6 months, you'll have $500. So it's not difficult to save that up. You might have to go without a few lattes or something like that, but save up the money. I went and put it down on the bike. They controlled my credit score, which again, they said I didn't have any credit history. And then, well, that's odd, but you got an amazing credit score because my credit card. They said, all right, so we'll finance it. So I put the $500 down on it, did a 5-year loan, which I was able to get because of my credit score. And payment on the bike works out to $78 a month, and my insurance is another $17, $19, something like that. Less than $100 to have the bike. Okay? Now, reason number 2 I picked the bike. At the time, I was working in a machine shop, and I had about a 20-minute commute. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, back and forth to work. I was running a half-ton pickup that got about 19 miles per gallon on a good day. So it was costing me a decent amount in fuel to run back and forth. Well, I actually worked out the math because the bike got like 48 miles a gallon, and I could run that bike back and forth to work 1 week a month. Okay? And it could be in a cumulative week. I could drive it, 2 days this week, 3 days next week, 1 day this week, and so on. As long as I drove that back and forth to work at least 1 week out of the month, I could make up its payment in fuel savings. Drove it 2 weeks, offset the winter. Drive it 3, we're actually saving money on this project and building that much needed credit history. So I'm still paying off on the bike and probably will continue to do so, because the other thing about credit too you want to do is it's something you have to always maintain. You're not going to build good credit and you can stop building and it just sits there, because it'll start to slowly drain down. So you always want to keep using your credit cards, but use them responsibly. And you always want to keep some little thing financed kind of in the background there, which, I mean, if you get to the point you start making like a house payment or something like that, don't worry about financing a vehicle. If you don't have a house payment, keep a vehicle of some sort financed, or keep a bike financed or something like that. Just some little thing, something that's not going to cost you very much, and preferably like I did, you can set up where it's actually saving you money. That's even better. But just keep something like that rolling in the background so you get those scores up and maintain them. So yeah, that's the first video down. If you like what I had to say, bump that like button. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll get back to you as best I can. And if you like this kind of video, you like any information, I'm going to have a whole bunch more stuff coming, a whole bunch of different topics. Try to see if we can help you guys do a little bit better in life and avoid some of the pitfalls I had to go through. So if you want to see that and keep up with me, push that subscribe button, hit that like button. I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Thanks. Outsider Insider out.